two players on this team both eclipse 1,000 yards this season, who do you think they'll be?
Well, if I'm going to go under the assumption is Brock Purdy as quarterback, I think I would go with. Well, if I'm making that assumption,
how many games is he playing? Are we getting all quarterbacks, one quarterback, three? How many quarterbacks going to play this year? I don't know. I'm just assuming they're all going to play at some point.
It's going to be Brandon Allen. If it's Brandon Allen, if
we're going to get a little Sam Darnold at some point, whether we want it or not.
If it's Brock Purdy, 17 games, I'm going to say Kittle and BA. I think those are the two guys I can see going for 1,000. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. BA to me is the best wide receiver on the 49ers.
Well, I don't disagree with you there.
Got over 1,000 yards last season. So I think if anybody, it would be him. And then we saw the relationship that Brock built with George Kittle. So I can see George Kittle also going over 1,000 yards. If George Kittle, on that run, right? The end, when George Kittle and Brock Purdy got hot, what was it, the last 6 games?
I'm trying to look that up. Like, what kind of yards per game was he putting up? Let me see. Right. Kittle. Let me get you. Okay, so last 5 games, he had 28, 93, 120, 23, 29, 37, 95, 32. He has a lot of games where he has 20 to 30 yards. I swear, man. A lot. Okay. He had a bunch of touchdowns down the stretch. He had 2, 1, 2, bunch of touchdowns. Let me just say, I feel like the Niners are trying to take a little bit off of his plate. I think they want him to finish the seasons a little bit stronger. I think that's a reason why they drafted 2 tight ends this year. They've been meaning to take a little bit off his plate for years and been unsuccessful. He's almost 30. They need to pace his season out. It's getting longer. He's played a lot, and they need him playing his best at the end of the season. So I'm not saying he's going to take a step back. I just don't. Has he had 1,000 yards? I don't think he's had 1,000-yard season since 2019.
Best season with.
Yeah. So, look, so you could be right. I'm going with Ayuk too.
Okay.
He hasn't missed a game since his rookie year. All of his teammates say he's going to be the breakout player this year. I feel like Kyle is coming into the year anticipating Ayuk being his guy.
Yeah.
In the passing game. So there's that. My question is, if I'm not going with Kittle, am I going to go with McCaffrey or Debo?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one because I feel like the answer to that question is who's going to play more games.
Right.
And I don't know. Last year, McCaffrey didn't get hurt. That doesn't mean, and Debo did. It could be opposite this year, right? I mean, who the hell knows? It's running backs.
Yeah.
Quasi running backs. So,
frankly,
I want to go with Debo because the Niners get their running backs hurt. And they were using McCaffrey too much last year. And I can't ignore that. And I feel like picking him to play 17 games this year would be uncharacteristically fanboyish of me. And I'm not a fanboy. So I have to just acknowledge the fact that I really don't expect McCaffrey to play the whole season at no fault of his own. Debo.
I could see Debo getting a total of 1,000 yards between rushing and receiving. But just receiving, I don't know. That's the thing that with the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan's offense, it's not a lot of passing yards typically. So having 2 is tough. Having 3 is like, I saw
last year they barely had 1. Ayuk had 1,015 yards. Kittle was number 2 at 765. Debo at 632. Now that was in 13 games. Now Kittle averaged 51 yards through the air per game. Debo 48.
And he was very bad in the beginning. So it's Kittle and BA, man. It's the only answer. It's the right answer. There's no other answers. No,
I like when you put it that way. No, with Kittle, that's the thing though. He misses games too. I mean, he missed 2. Debo missed 4. McCaffrey missed none. It's a tough one. I'm gonna put my chips down on Debo, and I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it at all.
Well, I did like Debo's words, so maybe it comes to fruition. It's
what I don't like about Debo though? His hand-eye coordination. He needs to stop dropping the ball. The Niners, not just Debo, Ayuk too, and Jennings. All 3 of the Niners' top 3 wide receivers dropped the ball more than they should. Debo and Jennings is outrageous. Like they're above 10%. Ayuk's at like 6-7%. They all should be below 5. Come on, guys. You guys are elite. What are you doing? They need to. I don't know if it's them or it's the coaching or whatever, but like with Brock Purdy throwing that little pillow around the field, you should catch the ball.
It seems like with Debo, it's not his hands as much as his focus, right? He might be thinking about what he's going to do next before he catches. He has to see the ball all the way in.
Well, it's never the hands. I want to make that clear. I don't like when people say he has good or bad hands, or soft hands. You telling me this dude goes to bed every night just rubbing his hands with lotion, and that's why he catches passes better than the other dude? Like, it has nothing to do with how soft they are, how big they are. It's your hand-eye coordination. It's how you track the ball in the air. Not everyone tracks the ball the same or as well.
Yeah.
Some people aren't good at it. Sometimes you need to get your eyes checked. It's really more your eyes than your hands.
Or your mind, right? Like if you're thinking
Yes.
about the next move you're going to make, right? You got to run through 18 people. Maybe you're thinking about
what
that.
What did Madden say? What did Madden say when we were kids? Got to catch the ball before you run.
You got to catch the ball. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Catch the ball first.
Yeah. I used to say that all the time. What?
All the time.
Here, I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
Besides Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and CMC and all those guys, let's say like Jawan Jennings, Ray McCloud, Ronnie Bell, Danny Gray. Which one of those guys has the most yards? And Jawan Jennings kind of easy answer, but I don't know if.
Well, hold on. I want to look at Ray for a second because I feel like he's completely underused. He got 25 targets last year. He averaged 17 yards per catch. How many drops did he have? Drops. He had 2 drops. What is with the Niners wide receivers and dropping passes, man? All of them. So he had 8% drop rate. Jennings, I guess they like Jennings. Jennings has a role. McLeod should have a role, but as long as Debo's on the team, he's like Debo's backup essentially on the offense. So I'm gonna have to go with Jennings.
What are they gonna do with Ronnie Bell and Danny Gray? Are they gonna really have a role this year at all?
I'm not sure Danny Gray's gonna make the team, man. That's not for certain. That's not for show. It's not for certain. It's certainly not for show. No, man, this dude is a body catcher. His best play of minicamp was beating Diamador Lenore off the line at the goal line and dropping a pass that would have been a touchdown. That was his best play.
Is it for sure? Are Jawan Jennings or Ray 100% safe, in your opinion?
Yes. I would say so. Yes, that's the number 3, number 4 wide receiver. Who's number 5, though? It could be Danny Gray. It could be Tay Martin. It could be someone we don't even think about. It could be Chris Conley.
Bell.
There's a competition right now, and Danny Gray has not separated himself whatsoever. It could be Tay Martin.
It'd be crazy. I mean, it feels like Danny Gray and Bell. I mean, wouldn't they have to make the team? Do you think they would get cut?
Yeah. Wow. Trey Sermon did. Trey Sermon got waived. Absolutely, man. I mean, if you're not good and they decide it, it's over for you. They're not that sentimental, except unless you're a quarterback and they don't know what to do with you. But at wide receiver, I think they'll cut you. So Ronnie Bell could make the team over Danny Gray. Tay Martin could make the team over Danny Gray. Both of those guys have really strong hands, and Gray does not. Gray's a body catcher.
Yeah. How did Danny Gray look, or Tay Martin? How did Tay Martin look?
He made a diving catch on a kind of errant throw from Sam Darnold. It was nice. It was like Sam Darnold ran out of the pocket to the right, play extended. Tay Martin is on the same page with him, moves with him, gets the target, lays out. Like, it's nice. Now he's not a fast runner like Danny Gray, but he can catch the ball. This team has a dearth. That's not doesn't have enough guys who can just catch the ball. That's what Garcon could do.
Yeah.
Bolden, it's an important skill set.
Jawan Jennings probably gone after this year. Who takes his place?
I think that's why they drafted Ronnie Bell. He's a slot receiver. Different build, but a slot receiver. I think they're hoping it's Bell, but it could be Tay Martin.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Tay Martin. Go look at his highlights from college. He was in the practice squad last year. He's pretty good.
And big body, long guy, right? Yeah.
Little Kendrick Bourne-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's not. He's actually not. He's pretty fast for his size, right?
He's faster than Jennings.
Yeah.
I think he's like high 4.5.
Jennings is the slowest receiver on the team. Did you know that? Out of 90-man roster, Jennings is the slowest guy on the team. He's like a 4.7.
I mean, he's slower than a lot of tight ends in the league. He runs a 4.7 something.
Yeah.
And essentially the way they use him in the pass game is like he runs the same routes that Jordan Reed ran on the 49ers on third down. Like line up in the slot and run like an in-breaking route or an out-breaking route, essentially. Run 8 yards and yeah.
It's crazy he's the slowest receiver on the team, drops passes constantly in practice, but in game day, he makes it the plays, you know?
Yeah, but he also drops a lot of passes too. Like his drop rate in his career is like 12%. That's not okay. He needs to.
Why I'm not.
He's
sure.
not. They're not going to re-sign him if he keeps doing that.
I'm not as confident as you when it comes to Jawan Jennings. Being on the team.
It's true. Hey, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like Kyle loves him.
Yeah.
No matter what, Kyle loves him.
He does get like in bed.
A lot of praise.
Certain players, and it's just
Kyle trusts him.
They can do.
Kyle trusts Jennings, but Kyle will call Jennings' number in critical situations, but not Ayuk. Go figure.
Yeah.
When Ayuk is better at literally everything than Jennings, there's not one thing. Maybe blocking. Blocking Jennings is better, but like catching the ball, getting open, like everything. You got to go to. But when does Kyle really call Ayuk's number in a critical situation ever?
It's a good point. It's a good point. Too many targets for Debo last season in those situations as well. I mean, it should be Kittle. It should be Kittle.
You can't trust Debo to get open. You can't trust him to catch the ball. But afterward, you can trust him to make plays. So, yeah, man, if it's third down, got to have it. I'm not going to him. Pass the sticks. Hell no. I'll hand it to him.
Any chance 49ers get 3,000-yard receivers? Any chance?
I don't think they pass enough.
Yeah.
I think they're more likely to have none than two. They barely got one last year. You catch with your eyes. Thank you. All day, every day, Kim. Mui says, I remember when Lance broke his ankle, I was in a bar and this guy yelled, Jimmy G, baby. I mean, immediately after. This guy was no doubt racist, though. That's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. Did you shoot him a look? Did everyone look at him like, hey, jerk? Ryan, have you and Larry spoken?
No. Nope. He has my number. I'm sure he'll call me at some point.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to get squashed eventually. That's my, if I had to gamble on it, but I'm not a big gambler. Joseph Stockbridge says, I can agree. At my job, the employees in my department are mostly Niner fans. With the divide, I say play Lance, though. Yeah, it's a strange divide.